My name is Hannah. This is my channel. That's about that. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Make yourself at home. Today I'm going to tell you how the murder mystery party that I was getting ready for in my last video went down. I got a microphone, so really happy about that. I think it sounds way better, which is great. We're really moving up. We learned last week that I cannot do and talk at the same time. This time I'm chit-chatting, sitting down, and I am going to throw in some clips of just like general food prep throughout the last week if you're interested in like chilling and watching that kind of thing. At the Tremaine School of Magic, danger stalks the corridors. Professor Bennett, the headmaster, has woken up with his memories stolen, and it's the day of the final magic exams. Will the students and professors solve the mystery in time to save the school and themselves from an ancient menace? Last night, someone painted a red X on the headmaster's door. This morning, Professor Bennett woke up unable to remember anything, not even his own name. Parents are convinced that the school is under some sort of magical attack, and the professors have announced that if the culprit is not caught, the school will close and will not reopen next year. Professor Riley Carlson, the most senior teacher, is overseeing investigations. Students could be forgiven, perhaps, for not having their minds fully on their exams. And romance, jealousy, rivalries, prophetic dreams, magical disguises, blackmail, and extortion combine to make the Tremaine School a dangerous place for even the best prepared. Will you be spellbound? So that's your introduction. The night began. Rachel and I, my friend Rachel and I got to the house where it was being hosted, and we were given these little baggies with like items and booklets, and we were told, all right, everyone go study. So let me tell you what was in the booklet. Inside of my bag, the introduction to the story, the cast list, a newspaper article, and some unique information about my character. The professors, we have Professor Lee Roderick, Professor of Alchemy, that is myself, or was, I should say. Professor Riley Carlson, the most senior one, is the Professor of Transformation. And then there's Professor Skylar Patterson, the Professor of Foretelling. And John Michael, my friend who invited me, was like the librarian. The students, there's Angela McIntosh, don't really remember her. Blair Jones, wasn't important. Casey Lansing, Dave White, Eric Bennett, Jason Edwards, Julie Anderson, Nina Brown, Ryan O'Callaghan, Chantel Anderson, Taylor Martin, Veronica Olson. So I'll just tell you real quick who was important to me. Casey Lansing, I met her first when I got to the party, like as herself, not as Casey, and she was really cute and fun, but she was a rebellious rule breaker of a student. And Dave White, Jason Edwards, was actually my friend Liam, and he's dating Chantel, and Chantel is best friends with Veronica, who is Rachel, my friend who I went to the party with. Nina Brown, her character is just socially awkward. Oh, Taylor Martin. When I first read, I didn't think it was going to be an issue, but this girl comes into play real quick in my story. The newspaper article that was in the bag. New magic school in France. The Pierpont family has recently announced their plans to open a magic school near Marseille, France. I don't know how to say it. I think that's it. They have promised that the Pierpont Magic School will employ the latest teaching techniques and the best teachers. The Pierpont School of Magic will open next fall, and anyone interested is encouraged to send in an application. Although here at the Sorcerer's Scoop, we wonder how the Pierpont family expects to get enough students. All school-age students are already attending a magic school, Tremaine, the one that I work at. Priceless heirloom stolen. The Edwards family has recently reported a stolen family heirloom. The Edwards are an extremely wealthy and highly respected wizard family. When our reporters questioned Mr. Edwards, he refused to give comment. We have, however, found a witness. It was late at night, Mrs. Newport said, and I was walking home from where I work as a housekeeper. Then, all of a sudden, I heard shouting and saw fireballs being cast. I was scared, so I hid in a bush. They ran right by where I was hiding. Dangerous sorceress still at large. Sorceress Callie Fu escaped from prison exactly 2 months ago. Although there have been no recent sightings, citizens are warned to be cautious as Callie Fu is extremely dangerous. If you do spot this escaped convict, inform the police right away. Be careful, it is rumored that she can freeze you to the spot with her eyes alone. Win a scholarship. Students of the Tremaine Magic School will take their final exam today. To encourage students to study, the school is offering a full scholarship to the student with the best grades. The White Family Broom Shop. Everything on sale. Come get the broom you've always wanted. I remember reading this originally and realized, like, oh, this means they're shutting down. But then I didn't put it together that David White, this was his family. So basically from the Sorcerer's Scoop, what we got was there's a new magic school in France being opened by the Pierpont family. And it's strange that it's being opened because supposedly they would have no students because all the students go to Tremaine. There's a thief stole from the Edwards family. You could win a scholarship by getting the best grades on the final exams. There's a dangerous sorceress, Callie Fu, at large. And the White Family Broom Shop is closing down, it seems. So now on to unique info about my character. So I've got my secret and my abilities. Everyone has their one secret. There's these spells people can cast and you have to reveal your secret. My secret was I am selling stolen wands with a student. I didn't have to say who the student was. All I said is I'm selling stolen wands with a student. Now I knew that the student was David White. My abilities were like 2 spells of that, whole, you gotta tell me your secret. And then I had items. I had a feather, a healing potion, some moon dust, 2 wands, and a bunch of potion prescriptions. Extra info that I gathered. Someone has stolen my spell book and is holding it for ransom, and the person signed the ransom note, Mr. Black. Apparently, I have also dabbled in memory potions before, and I think I can make a potion to bring back the headmaster's memories. During the party, you have an exam every 45 minutes, and I'm giving the first exam. The students need a wand in order to take any of their exams. Since I'm professor of alchemy, they're going to make a potion for me. Depending on the potion you make, it's either an A, B, or a C. My objectives were get my spell book back, don't get caught selling stolen wands, give the first exam of the day, and help the headmaster get his memory back. The game begins. Old man Carlson, he comes up, the most senior professor, and he gives an announcement. So I just want to say, from the jump, from reading my booklet, I thought Carlson had something to do with this. Because apparently Patterson and Carlson are the ones that found the headmaster, so who knows what they're up to. And he's over here saying, we're going to shut down the school if we don't figure this out. And I'm like, that's kind of rash, right? I need my job. I had a feeling that he had a job lined up at Poupont or Pierpont, or he just doesn't care because he can retire because he's the most senior teacher. He's old, he don't care. At this point, we all start walking around and I see David. David and I both see each other and we're like, okay, we're not going to talk in front of all of these people. Who did I talk to? Honestly, I didn't get to talk to very many people before Taylor decided to come rob me. She did some little spell that made me unconscious for 10 minutes, which meant I had to sit out the game on the couch. I had so much stuff except for money, and she stole everything but my potion prescriptions. Oh, and while I was on the couch, someone else got robbed by Taylor, and she comes and sits on the couch, and I'm like, she's stealing from everybody. So finally, I get up off the couch. I'm conscious again. And the professors and the detectives want to have a little meeting all together. This is when I kind of blew it on not getting caught selling stolen wands, because they got together and were like, oh my gosh, somebody's stealing wands. The kids don't have wands for their exams. So I was ready to pin it on Taylor, right? Because she just robbed me. And she is stealing wands to my knowledge. I tell the detectives, yes, Taylor just robbed me. She took everything from me. She took my potions, my feather, my 2 wands. And they're like, hello. Why do you have 2 wands? And it honestly did not occur to me that that other wand was a stolen wand. So I had to backtrack real quick and said, I heard that somebody was stealing these wands, and so I went to the store last night and I bought a spare because I care about these children. I bought one and I'm broke. They don't pay me enough here, and I care about these children too much. I didn't want them to fail on their exams. So they just kind of looked at me suspiciously and dropped it. I screwed that one up, but it's fine. I really wasn't worried. Honestly, to me, honesty is the best policy. So just let it out. You know, somebody else attacked the headmaster. Do we really care about some stolen wands? No. During this same conversation, once they're done looking at me like I'm a thief, Patterson, the professor of foretelling, says that she's seen some wild visions, and one of them is that Callie Fu, the dangerous sorceress, is coming to the school today. Oh, also, someone mentioned Ryan is actually Ryan Pierpont, basically, loosely related to the Pierponts in France, making that new school. So, those potion prescriptions, let's talk about that. Like I said before, my character has dabbled in memory potions before, and I think that I can figure out a combination of 3 ingredients, and I have 5 to choose from. So a potion prescription has all 5 of those ingredients listed. You're supposed to circle the 3 you think are the correct combination to get the headmaster's memories back. You give it to the librarian. 20 minutes later, he comes back to you with a clue to how much it worked, or if it didn't work at all, or if he's cured. I figure I need to start guessing. I put in my first guess. Then the librarian comes by, gives me this note from Mr. Black saying like, hey, you better pay me 8 coins by 6:30 p.m. Leave them in the plant by the couch. And I think I convinced my friend Rachel to give me 2 coins. I wrote a note saying like, have mercy, I'll get you your coins and more. And I left 2 coins in that note. Just so you know, my strategy thus far has pretty much been listen to other people's conversations and spread any information that I hear. All right, so now it's time for the exams. The exams are held in a separate room. Only the professor giving the exam, the student taking the exam, and the librarian are allowed in the room at one time. Before we went in, I asked, do I have to give people the grade that they deserve? Or can I bribe people? You know, I need money. But the librarian told me, you write whatever grade you want. To be honest, I don't remember all of the exam results and the students and what they made and yada yada. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you the important ones. Taylor had the audacity to come into my office and make an A+ potion because she's got like 5 wands and all of the ingredients because she's been robbing people the entire first act. So I tell her to her face and say, girl, you don't deserve an A. You're a thief. I'm giving you an F. Bye. Then David comes in, my accomplice. This is the first time David and I finally are getting to sit down and talk to each other, so I don't even bother. I don't remember if he made a potion. I just said, A+++, it's David. All right, he's my boy. And we just finally like, David, what the hell is going on? Does anybody know about you? Does anybody know about me? Tell me your information, I'll tell you mine. I don't think there was a whole lot to be said at this point. It was only act 1. My friend Rachel came in, aka Veronica. I don't think she had anything to make a potion, but I don't care because she's my friend, so I'm pretty sure I gave her an A+. She did give me some information though. She said that she's not really best friends with Chantel, and Chantel and James are dating, by the way, but Veronica, happens to like James. Oh, dang it. I keep calling him James, don't I? I think his name's Jason. Edwards. It starts with a J. Jason, James, whoever, Chantel's boyfriend. So he's actually Liam, another friend of mine in the real world. Liam came in. I'm pretty sure I was able to get him to give me some coins for an A. Okay, once these exams were done, that was the beginning of part 2 of the game. At this point, it's time for me to get serious. Time for me to really start gathering more intel, talking to people I haven't talked to yet. People who I'm like, who are you? Go talk to them. I use one of my secret spells on Professor Patterson, and guess what? She's Mr. Black. the one that stole my spell book and has been extorting me, trying to take all my money. The librarian brought my answer back about the potion. From his clue, I gathered that 2 of the ingredients I chose were right and 1 was wrong. So I go ahead and put in another guess. I also go to the library and I learned something interesting. Way back in the day, 500 years ago, whoever made the school had some treasure. They hid it. They got a gargoyle to guard it. If anybody got too close to the treasure, the gargoyle would attack them and take their memories away. What's important here is that whoever decided to put this curse on the treasure, they're related to Professor Carlson, the one that I said I was suspecting from the jump. Yeah. I go to the detectives and I say, hey, did you know that Carlson is related to Dad? Blah, blah, blah. Finally, I'm talking to some other kids like Casey, the rebel, Eric, the headmaster's son. It seems like one of them said they had a gargoyle head or something, or they were trying to destroy something. I didn't know what they were talking about, but they seemed like cool kids, so I kind of joined their team. But I thought, oh, they need this other half of a page that has a spell on it. Well, then I need to get my spell book back. Surely that will do something. It was in my objective. Surely there's something in my spell book of use. When I finally do get my spell book back later, I realize it ain't worth it. After I chit chat with these rebel kids, the detectives hail me over. They confront me about my wand stealing, and I say, yeah, it's a thing, okay? I don't get paid enough. I figure there are bigger fish to fry in this magic school. But I did make up a story because I wasn't going to rat David out. I said, yeah, but how could I know they're stolen? I'll just say I have a supplier, and my supplier calls himself Mr. Black. So now it's time for the second exam. The librarian comes back, gives me my results for my second guess on the prescription for the potion. And wrong again, but 2 right, 1 wrong. Now, I'm not really great at math, and I think at this point there was no reason for my third guess to be wrong, but it was. My third guess, I got 1 right and 2 wrong, but later I did finally get it on the 4th try. Also, at this point, it's getting late in the night. I'm getting tired, mentally exhausted. Boyfriends and girlfriends are switching up. David took a potion to be popular. Now he's dating Chantel. Jason and Veronica got together. We were happy about that. They gave a big toast. Veronica, I guess, is related to Callie Fu. She's like her niece or something. So yeah, that's why there's not a lot to say about part 2, because I was kind of just like, what on earth is happening? Now Carlson starts giving their exam. At this point, I go to the kitchen just to find new faces, chat it up, eat some snacks. I see Ryan. I'm like, oh, hey, you're a poop pot. Does that matter? No? Okay. Then I see Nina, the socially awkward one. I had 1 more spell for like the secret telling to use, and I almost used it on Nina. Really had no reason to at that point. I was just restless, confused, and felt like I needed to do something. But I stopped myself and said, no, save it for Carlson. That's the one you suspect. So I march up there and I'm like, give me your secrets. And the secret, you want to know the secret for Carlson, was that he's related to that person I said he was related to. I read that at the library. Like, talk about some bull. What? Then, immediately afterwards, I find out I should have used the spell on Nina. Because Nina is freaking Callie Fu. Callie Fu is arrested. I get my answer back for my last potion. I did it. Woo! The headmaster's memories are cured. And I get a little note from him. He's like, oh my God, thank you so much. You're amazing. Oh my God, thank you. I could use a raise. He says the last thing he remembers is a gargoyle coming into his room. He looked into the hypnotic eyes and he forgot everything. Part 3 is where shit gets crazy. A few minutes after Nina or Callie Fu is arrested, Carlson and Casey try to kill each other. Don't know what happened there. And then Carlson released Callie Fu and was like, I don't think she's that bad. And honestly, I was like, you know what? I agree, because like, all that I read about her and all I keep hearing is that she's evil. Haven't heard what she did. Sounds like we're just being really judgy. Casey's arrested because she tried to kill Carlson. Carlson's arrested because she freed Callie Fu. And Callie Fu is, again, arrested. Out of nowhere, my friends are looking for a timer. They're looking for a timer. I'm like, what? I have one on my phone. Why? Because somebody wants to bomb the school. What? Freaking Pierpont, Ryan is trying to bomb the school now. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even spreading everything I hear anymore. I'm watching. I'm sitting down and I'm watching. I'm watching this place go up in flames. Ryan eventually is arrested. You know who's not arrested? Me and David. I know David's a child, but me, the adult who's been selling stolen wands. And at this point, like, the jig is up. They know everything. But the detectives only have 4 arrest warrants, so we go free. They have bigger fish to fry. What did I tell you? There's murderers and shit out there. They don't need us. Oh, Lord. And then, here comes Taylor. Taylor comes up to me and she's like, I got an F. What? I thought I got an A. Taylor was massively confused. In her booklet, one of her objectives was to get the scholarship. If she wasn't making straight A's in her exams, she was to get on Ryan's side and try to bomb the school. Like, she has no loyalty. You just decide what to do in the moment. I guess you could say she's flexible, okay? So good for her. Flexible, adapting. That's great. So one of her objectives was to bribe the professor of alchemy, me, for an A because she knows that I sell stolen wands. During the exam, I actually remember her saying, like, I know you sell stolen wands. And I was like, girl, what? Everybody knows. I brushed it off. Yeah, I kind of blew it already. And now at this point, like, a 5-minute conversation with Taylor ensues about how if she knew she was making an F-, she would have been doing something else the whole time. But then she said, oh, but the librarian changed it for me. I made an A, which was bullshit anyways, and shouldn't have done that. And so finally I'm like, girl, then what are we talking about? So you got all your A's? And you thought you had A's? And you acted in the way of you made straight A's? You've been trying to get the scholarship? You've been trying to save the school because you wanted a scholarship? First of all, good that you're on the good side, not trying to buildings and shit. Secondly, what are we talking about at this point? You got your A's, girl, get out of my face. Okay, no, I was a lot nicer than that. Finally, the game is winding down, okay? We're coming to conclusions. The librarian tells me to announce who got the scholarship. Honestly, I didn't even think to go look at the grades and see, like, who actually earned the scholarship. Because it would have been David. Sorry, David, I didn't know. I felt bad about the whole Taylor thing, and so I gave it to Taylor. Also because she was stealing from everyone because family was having hard times and all that. She had a sob story, okay? So, and poor David, his family had one too. Their shop was going down. Yeah, it was the wrong decision. I admit it. We're all gathered around the detective. The librarian says, everyone point to who we think did it. So we all point to Carlson, and we were right. Carlson did it. I was right, literally from like the first page. So why did Carlson do this? Because he wanted to search for the treasure without anyone in the school. I don't know how that mattered, especially because this is the final day of school. We're about to be on break. All the students are leaving. Everyone is going to be gone. Why did you need what? Okay, I don't know. Maybe it makes sense. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. End game. My brain is fried and I'm tired as hell. I drive an hour and a half home. It was fun. Whew. All right, guys, that was so much information. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Do whatever you like to do. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye. Mwah. Care Bear stare.